Hey everyone, this is May Park. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to show you how to create one layer card using a stamped background by mixing a few different stamp sets from Hero Arts. I'll be using the masking technique to create an illusion of depth to my stamped images and color them with Copic sketch markers. As usual, I'll share the behind the scenes video at the end to show you my messy desk after my project is done. This video is part of the Hero Arts Blog Hub celebrating the release of July My Monthly Hero Kit. Make sure to visit my blog for more details and don't forget to enter a giveaway for a chance to win their new My Monthly Hero Kit. When I saw the fun outline images from the UR suite as pie stamp set, I knew what I wanted to create. These images are perfect for creating custom stamped background. To make my background more fun, I decided to combine with the images from different stamp sets, food puns, and we go together clear stamp sets. I'm also going to use the Thanks for Being New wood stamp and nesting circle infinity dies to create my card in today's video. I'm going to begin by cutting my panel into 4¼ inch by 5½ inches using Timothy tonic paper trimmer out of Nina Solo White 100-pound cardstock. You can use 80-pound cardstock if you want to, but I thought heavier cardstock would work better for today's project since I will do lots of coloring on the paper. By the way, you can stamp the images directly onto A2 size top folding white card base if you want to. Then I'm going to choose the circle die from the nesting circle infinity die set, making sure the opening is large enough to cover the sentiment on the wood stamp. Once I'm happy with the size of my circle die, I'm going to draw some guideline on my A2 size white panel by tracing the outside of the die using a pencil. If you don't have the circle die, you can draw the circle shape by tracing a cup or small jar. It's okay not to be perfect because you are going to erase it eventually. Just make sure you have enough room inside the circle frame for your sentiment. Today, I'll be using the Stamp and Magic Stamp Positioner from EK Success. I'm going to ink up my stamp with black ink and stamp the sentiment onto the clear image pad. Then I'm positioning my image pad over the white panel so that the sentiment is where I want it to be. Then I'm going to remove the image pad carefully and ink up my stamp with Simon Says Stamp Intense Black ink and stamp the sentiment onto the paper. I'm going to repeat the process one more time to get an intense stamping. If you don't care about the placement of your sentiment too much, you can totally stamp your sentiment directly on the paper without using the stamp positioner. I just wanted to make sure I get a solid stamping impression with a perfect placement. Now it's time for stamping the images. Since I'm going to color my images with Copic markers, I'll be using Simon Says Stamp Intense Black ink, which is alcohol marker friendly. You could use any of these inks as they are all great for stamping when you use Copic markers for coloring. If you prefer less intense black outlines, you could use Memento Tuxedo Black ink for stamping. I already placed my white panel inside the original Misty stamping tool and I'm going to arrange my stamps to find a perfect placement for stamping. Once I'm happy with the placement of my stamps, I'm going to close the Misty door to pick up the stamps. Then I'm going to ink up my stamps with Simon Says Stamp Intense Black ink and close the Misty door to stamp the images on the paper. I didn't get a good impression because my Simon Says Stamp Black ink pad is a bit dry, so I'll continue stamping using the alternate permanent black ink. As you can see here, I stamped my large images first along the guideline. That way I can stamp the rest of the images in balance. Of course, you can stamp the small images first if you want to. But I found that it's easy to balance your entire images when you start working on large images first. I'm also stamping the same images on post-it notes to create masks. You can use Inka masking paper if you want to. I'm going to cut the images on the post-it notes with my scissors. I recommend you cut slightly inside of stamping line. That way, you can get more perfect stamping while masking the images. By the way, I'm cutting a couple of post-it notes at once to save my time in case I need more masks. I'm going to layer my masks of the stamped images on my panel, covering the images completely using Tombow removable glue tape. If you have a post-it note with a full adhesive on the back, you will need a removable glue tape. Next, I'm going to stamp the small images to fill in the gaps between large images and stamp them one more time on post-it notes to make more masks. Then I'll be stamping a mix of the images over my mask, positioning the images partially onto the mask. I'm going to continue stamping and masking until I finish creating my entire background. When you create a stamped background, it's important to balance the placement of your images. You need to decide which image you stamp first, because the image you stamp first will be appeared in the foreground and the second image will be partially behind the first image. When it comes to choosing images from different stamp sets, it's important to choose the stamps that have a similar design style or similar thickness of the outline images. Or you can choose the stamp sets based on the theme. For today's project, I chose 3 stamp sets that have a same theme and similar illustration style. Once my stamping is done, I'm going to remove the post-it notes to reveal my finished background. In this step, you can stamp a couple more images in case you see some large opening between the images. Alternate permanent black ink is alcohol marker friendly, but I'm using my heat tool to dry my panel to make sure I don't get my ink smudged while coloring. After removing the pencil line with my eraser, I'm going to color my images with Copic markers. When it comes to choosing the colors for my projects, I tended to find the color inspiration by searching the illustration images on Google. This time I typed the Sweet Treats illustration on the search box. Based on the color combination I found on Google, I'll pick a few primary colors from my Copic marker collection. Then I'll be adding a few more colors along the way depending on the images I color. You can even get more details on the color combination of each image by searching donut illustration, ice cream illustration, and so on. Today I'm doing some simple coloring without much blending to enhance the graphic look of my images. To be honest, I'm not good at blending and shading with Copic markers, but I believe that we can still create beautiful cards without those professional coloring skills. We shouldn't feel stressful about our coloring skills and compare with others. Instead, we need to enjoy the moment we color. Now I'm going to turn on some music and speed up the coloring process so you can enjoy watching me color. I'll be back soon. If you make a mistake and color outside of your images, You can remove the color by using a colorless blender. But it's still okay not to be perfect, as that's the beauty of a handmade card. To bring my images together, I'm going to add tiny dots to fill in the gaps between each image using a fine tip of alternate artist markers. Depending on your projects, you can add dots using a marker, pen, or small circle stamp. You can also create a different look by choosing the distance between each dot. If you are looking for an easy way to dress up your stamped background, this dot technique will give your card a more finished look. If you haven't done it yet, I strongly recommend you give it a try. Once my background is done, I'm going to mount my stamped panel onto the 8 size top folding white card base using alternate glue tape. I decided to add the sentiment inside the card as well. So I'm pulling out the sentiment from the US suite as pie stamp set and stamp it with alternate permanent black ink. I'm going to finish off my card by adding some dots and dash lines using a white gel pen on some images. This is it for today. I hope my video inspired you to color something today, even if it's for 5 minutes. If you enjoyed my video, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. And I'd love it if you subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss any new videos from me. And don't forget to visit my blog to see more details of my card and enter the giveaway. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time with another video. Bye bye!